Okay, so a very good evening to all of you. We'll start with the first class of your RBI circular for the month of January 2026. Now, when we start our preparation for RBI, there is a fear. Yeah, very good evening, Saga, Anna. Very good evening. So there is a fear among the aspirants I see is related to the RBI guidelines, RBI circulars, and all those things. So, see, there are two, three things that I will suggest you that how you should proceed with it and what should be your modus operandi for the particular thing. And there is a haunting fear related to this, but I would suggest you certain things. Stick on to this. The things will not be that difficult as it looks from outside, and that fear is being created from many of the personals. So I will discuss each and everything first. Whenever you read this circulars, notification, everything, keep in mind one thing that there are certain things which everything is not called as a circular, right? Something may be your guideline, something may be your related to guidelines, something may be related to circulars, certain things may be related to certain notifications, right? Certain things can be related to memorandums. So first of all, when you try to understand the thing, right, see that what it is actually. It is either circular, either it is guideline, or it is memorandum, what it is actually trying to say, or either it is a simple approval. Approval ko bhi they take it as a circular, but वो circular नहीं होता. That is not actually a circular. So you should be very clear with that, that they're talking with the directions, which is a legal instruction, or it is a circular, which is just a communication, or they are talking about certain advisory that is actually a guideline. Okay? So be very clear with this that whatever you are reading, it is a legal instruction from the RBI side that you have to adhere to it, or it is a circular to the banks in the form of communication, or it is a advisory that is guideline from the side of the RBI that you have to keep in your mind. So if you see these things, guidelines are idea or framework, directions make it compulsory, circular explain how to implement it, right? Now, this basic idea should be there in your mind. Now, how to read or what to read? What I've seen last year also that this FOMO was created among the aspirants by many of the Telegram channel, but what actually was not required for the examination. For example, what they used to do, what I've seen many aspirants have shared to me, they used to download the actual circular, then उस पे रंग बिरंगे they used to do this that, and by doing this they have unnecessarily created so much amount of stuff in the minds of students that when the examination was held for the RBI both prelims and mains, nothing came out from here because that was being told to you, or that was being guided to you in such a manner that they are taking the examination of what they are taking the examination of any officer of RBI. But the examination that you are giving is for a student who is preparing actually for to become an officer of RBI. The RBI Grade B examination is not for the officer, but it is for the student who is actually preparing for the examination. So they do not expect that you should be knowing that each and every point from that guideline in a very detailed manner. That is, I think, unnecessarily feeding you the thing which you cannot digest also, and which will they will not ask in examination also. So do not go into those things कि download करो, पढ़ो, everything उससे extract करो. That will they will never ask, because I told you the simple funda, simple concept. They are conducting the examination for future officers, not for the present officers of RBI. So that you should be very clear with. Now, another thing, what to focus. अब उस पे focus नहीं करे तो what to focus. You have to focus on areas which you find in the financial daily, financial newspapers or magazines. That you should focus. जो यहाँ पे आ गया, whatever the news will come here, you will try to focus on those things only, mainly not going into the notifications of RBI, visiting the website, each and everything. What you will find in the financial daily, then you can refer to the website. ये आपका काम नहीं है कि आप notification खोल के बैठ जाओ in the website of RBI and you start reading everything about that. That is not required for the examination and that is not asked also. So if they ask also question from this, your area will be restricted to this, what is present in the public domain, not inside the internal domains of the RBI, because you are future officer, you are not the present officer of RBI. That you should be very clear with. Now, if we go into the right, we'll understand all these things what I said with the help of examples for the month of January. For the month of January 2026. Okay. Now I challenge you, anybody who have taught you, because many of you enroll in multiple courses also, any of you have gone through the YouTube lectures, YouTube sessions related to the circulars of the January month, or any PDF you have seen, right? No lecture, no PDF can beat this. Okay? That is my challenge. Now, let us come to one by one what you have to actually read from this month of January 2026. PDF I have already given. I think many of you have gone through this PDF also in a systematic way. Now, when you start reading the things related to the RBI circular, you start, right, going in a, right, not in a directed approach, right? You beat around the bush without understanding what you are reading. That you should not do. You should first try to understand what actually has been released, why it has been released, and what are the takeaways from it for my examination, not my life as an officer in RBI, because you have to give the examination first. That we'll try to understand. Now, to understand this, what are my takeaways? What are my takeaways? I have tried to demarcate the entire thing from the month of January in a systematic manner, that what we'll be covering. Everything should be very clear in our mind in a very broad way. Then we'll try to take away the important things from it. Now, I told you the start, when you come to my class, come with a copy and pen so that I can make you understand. Your work will be over from here only. जनवरी का इसके बाद आपको पढ़ने का कुछ जरूरत ही नहीं after the session. So first, see, there are two, three things that you have to keep in mind. Write in your notebook the first thing we will be reading about the circular that RBI has presented for the month of January. Whatever the guidelines, everything is there. I will tell you कहाँ guideline है, कहाँ circular है, what are the things. The very first point is related to regulatory framework and the risk management, right? That RBI is catering. ठीक है? हाँ, after today's class you can download. It was kept on hold for the class itself so that एक बार आपको समझ में आ जाए तो फिर PDF, नहीं तो PDF के उसी खेल में पड़े रहोगे, you will not understand anything. So first I'm telling you, write in your notebook, the RBI guideline is coming from our regulatory framework and risk management. Regulatory framework and risk management. लिखते चलो साथ में. You will again not require another 1 hour to revise the thing. RF and RM. The first is regulatory framework and risk management. In this, we will study two things. The first is banking and NBFC supervision. The second is from the consumer side, the governance and the consumer protection. We will be studying banking and NBFC. Inside this, क्या उनके बारे में आया, and governance and consumer protection. Short में लिखो, everything write in short and try to understand. Clear everyone? The first regulations that we will be studying is from the framework related to the banking and their management. Second point in this we'll be studying, ये पहला हो गया, पहला के अंदर we will be studying these two aspects. The second aspects we are trying to study what RBI has actually brought in from the external sector, because you know that RBI is an entity which is, right, looking after the forex of India also. It is not only looking into the inside of our banks, the rules, regulation, the consumer, it is also looking the guardian of the forex. Right? This is a previous year simple PYQ of, I think NABARD only they have asked, NABARD or IRDA, they have asked this question, that which of the following entity act as guardian of forex for our country. Okay? So this is RBI. So we will see the internal हमने देख लिया, हम external देखेंगे what RBI has brought in, the external sectors and the global integration. Okay, this is thing. Then the third thing we'll see, under this rules and regulations of the RBI give certain approvals in certain directions, right? Multiple directions. So we will go for the approvals. So in total three things we will be looking. RBI ने अंदर क्या काम किया, RBI ने बाहर क्या काम किया, RBI ने अपने rules and regulations में दायरे में रहते हुए क्या approvals दिए. These three things we'll be studying. These are the only things, the circular guidelines notifications that RBI has brought in for the month of January 2026. ठीक है? Everybody, सबको clear है, framework is clear in your mind what we are going to study for the January 2026 from the RBI side. Sagar, Swati, all of you, rest of the people, yes या no बोलो तभी मैं आगे बढ़ूंगा. चुपचाप बैठोगे तो आप बाद में रिकॉर्डिंग देख लेना, आप जा सकते हो यहाँ से. Right? So I will start one by one. The more you will interact, the more you will remember. The silent and shy person you will be in the class, you will remain shy forever. Now, be ready with your copy and pen. जो मैं short noting कराते चलूँ, keep writing. Everything will be clear to you by the time the class ends, and you will remember the things also. First thing, all of you in your copy and pen, पहला regulation what we are going to study under banking. All of you, one write one regulatory framework in risk management. Under that, subheader one, banking and supervision. Under that, we are going to study the first RBI notification that has been released, right? The circular that has been released. Inside notification is capital adequacy norms for NBFC. All of you. Now read these three words very carefully. Capital adequacy norms. We also call it as, क्या हम बोलते हैं इसको, कैपिटल एडिक्वेसी नॉर्म्स को कैपिटल एडिक्वेसी रेशियोज के फॉर्म में वी ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड. नाउ ऑल ऑफ यू विल ट्राई टू CRAR. Very good. Now all of you try to answer few of the questions. See what RBI regulation has chipped in. New mandates aimed at strengthening financial stability through risk weights. Now when we go through this word, that is risk weight, you will find that RBI, as per RBI or as per Basel norms also, what is the capital adequacy ratio norms for public sector banks and for NBFCs? Please tell me this first. The regulation seems that RBI has done certain things related to CRAR ratio or the capital adequacy norms. नहीं कुछ किया. Very good, Janvi. Very good. Janvi gives the first answer, which is correct also. Not completely correct, but partially correct. So we have public sector banks, 9% the capital adequacy ratio. For NBFC, what is the capital adequacy ratio? For NBFC, what is the capital adequacy ratio? If public sector bank में 9% है, तो RBI के according, what is the capital adequacy ratio for the public sector? Sorry, NBFCs. Very good, Swati. This is 15%. Now, this regulation seems that the name of this regulation points that RBI ने कुछ इनमें चेंज किया है 9% 15% में. No, the answer is no. The RBI has done nothing with this standard ratios or the percentages, that is 9% 15%. ये as it is है. It is now as it is only. What RBI has changed, to understand that we must understand what is actually capital adequacy ratio or CRAR ratio. Now, when we say capital adequacy ratio, that is CAR, मान लो short में बोलते हैं, it is equal to what? Everybody might be knowing. जो जानते हैं प्लीज टाइप करो, रिवीजन होगा. टायर 1 प्लस टायर 2 कैपिटल बाय रिस्क वेटेड एसेट्स. ठीक है. एक बैंक या एनबीएफसी के पास जितने भी कैपिटल है, दैट इज टायर 1 बाय टायर 2, और उन कैपिटल में किस कैपिटल का कितना रिस्क अटैच्ड है, दैट इज ओनली कैपिटल एडिक्वेसी रेशियो. दैट मीन्स इफ समथिंग अनसर्टेन हैपेंस, if something uncertain happens, how much capital you have to repay the thing. Be very clear with that. Now the regulation that is coming from the RBI, it is talking about what? It is talking about risk weights. It is not directly talking about the total capital adequacy ratio of 9% and 15% of NBFC. It is talking about the risk weights. So this circular, what RBI has chipped in, is right regarding the risk weight. It has actually reduced the risk रेट एसोसिएटेड विथ विच सेक्टर, जिन्होंने पढ़ा है एच क्यू आई पी। एच क्यू आई पी, जो जो कीवर्ड मैं बोलते चल रहा हूं लिख लो, यहीं से इन्हीं से क्वेश्चंस आएंगे, और कुछ क्वेश्चन नहीं आएंगे। द रिस्क वेट एसोसिएटेड विथ एच क्यू आई पी। ठीक है, what are this HQIP? Anybody who has gone through this PDF? What are HQIP? High quality infrastructure projects. Write it down. High quality infrastructure project. So the regulation which is coming, it is coming from the side of your what? It is coming from the side of your differentiated risk weight. Differentiated risk weight. What the crux of this, right, capital education norms is that, try to understand, it is based on the reducing the risk weight. कैसे हम reduce करेंगे? How we will reduce the risk weight? We will reduce the risk weight by finding out the payer, right, who is paying according to the norms. That means if somebody has paid 2% of the debt, if somebody has paid, जिन्होंने भी लोन लिया था फॉर हाई क्वालिटी इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर प्रोजेक्ट, ये क्या होता है ये भी मैं आपको समझाऊंगा, राइट। योर रिस्क, क्योंकि वो टाइमली पे कर रहा है, तो रिस्क ऑफ दैट डेट विल बी रिड्यूस्ड टू 75%। मतलब रिस्क जो हम वेट लगाएंगे टू फाइंड आउट दिस बेस will be taken to 75%. If that person only pays the 5% of the debt that has been taken, the risk weight will come down to 50%. मतलब क्या कर रहे हैं? वी आर मेंटेनिंग दिस। देखो इससे हो क्या रहा, व्हाट इज हैपनिंग, व्हाट इज इंप्लीकेशन ऑफ दिस? वी आर व्हाट रिड्यूसिंग द वेट, वी आर रिड्यूसिंग द डिनोमिनेटर, the numerator remains the same. Means with that capital only, now bank will be able to give much more loans to the entities. यही चार पांच बातें जो है आपको याद रखने हैं फ्रॉम दिस सर्कुलर विच दे विल आस्क इन द एग्जामिनेशन इफ दे आस्क। फर्स्ट थिंग, द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ योर कैपिटल एडिक्वेसी रेशियो फॉर्मूला क्या होता है? इस फॉर्मूला में व्हाट इज द कैपिटल एडिक्वेसी नॉर्म्स फॉर योर बैंक्स एंड द एनबीएफसीज। नेक्स्ट थिंग, what RBI has brought in the changes for the HQIP, that is high quality infrastructure projects, that is based on the risk weight। जो जितना जल्दी पे करेगा उनका रिस्क वेट हम घटाते जाएंगे, क्योंकि वो जल्दी दे रहे हैं तो उनसे हमें रिस्क नहीं है। इफ दे पे व्हाट मैंने बताया, इफ दे पेज 2% ऑफ द डेट, वी कॉल इट एज राइट 75% रिस्क वेट। इफ दे पे 5%, वी अटैच 50% रिस्क वेट। अब वी विल सी फास्टली दी कंटेंट्स ऑफ इट। आपको देखना फटाफट अभी ही याद हो जाएगा, यू विल नॉट कंफ्यूज विद द थिंग। लेट मी गो टू द सर्कुलर। See, these are the circulars of the RBI: 191, 190, 189. Entities are different, but the crux remains the same. So what we'll see here, yeah, see this one, this diagram will make it clear. Borrower has repaid 2% or less of total sanctioned project, risk weight is 75%, but borrower has paid 5% of more, the sanctioned risk becomes 50%. So this is the main takeaway of this capital education norms. इसी को when we do the back linkage, we understand the concept of your capital education norms. Capital education norms, we have studied two things, 9% and 15%. यही पूछा जाएगा एग्जामिनेशन में। Another thing that they will be asking is HQIP. As the name suggests, high quality infrastructure project. Can you give any one example of HQIP from India? आपके इर्द गिर्द हर जगह हो रहा है, जिस रास्ते से आप चल रहे हो वहां भी HQIP ही है। एनी ऑफ दिस, यस वेरी गुड, नेशनल हाईवेज, वेरी गुड, नेशनल हाईवेज, the corridors, northeastern corridor that is being built, right? The Yamuna Express Highway, Atal Setu project. These are all examples of HQIP. ठीक है? When we say it as HQIP, there are certain criterias. There are certain 6 criterias. देखो, these are the criterias जो कि बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है आपके एग्जाम के लिए। Operational track record, 1 year successful track record. Asset classification, all the assets should be standard, no substandard asset is allowed. Stable and protected revenue, जो कि गवर्नमेंट साइड से आ रहा है, टॉल हाईवे से आपको लगातार पैसे मिल रहे हैं, राइट, टॉल 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 टैक्स है. रोबस्ट लेंडर प्रोटेक्शन, दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, सी पॉइंट नंबर 4. रोबस्ट लेंडर प्रोटेक्शन मैकेनिज्म, इस पे escrow अरेंजमेंट होता है, escrow अकाउंट का कॉन्सेप्ट होता है, ESCROW. व्हाट इट इज? It is a third party account arrangement. See, three players are there: A, B, and C. C is say bank. ठीक है, अच्छा B को बैंक रखो. B is bank. A is the B is giving loan. A is the taker of the loan. ठीक है. Now, if whatever the revenue A is earning, right, from revenue only it will generate the profit and give return the loan to B. But A, if it has its independent account, B has no access to its account. A will say, I will not give you tomorrow. I will give you 10 days after. ये अपना मनमानी करेगा. तो इस मनमानी से बचने के लिए, to prevent the lender, to prevent the lender from this, so that the person who is taking the loan, he does not play with the money of this bank, what they do is they maintain a third party account with C, where A has also access to it, B has also has access to it. It is only called as escrow account. तो कि B अगर ये default करता है, B can, right, automatically take out the money from the third party. This is only escrow arrangement, which is one of the very important feature of HQIP. ठीक है, तभी तो इसके लिए हम लोन इजीली दे रहे हैं. अगर ये सब अरेंजमेंट नहीं होता तो फिर लोन रिटर्न नहीं होता जल्दी, राइट. सो दिस इज देयर, राइट. सो दैट इज the fourth point, very important, escrow or TRA arrangement, right, for all movable and immovable assets, steps in right and clearly defined minimum termination payments. So it is a escrow is actually a third party arrangement firm करते हैं. This is all about the circular number 1. ठीक है, and standard asset होना चाहिए, that I told to you, that HQIP should have this standard. जहां भी सब standard या doubtful asset हो गया, then we will not allow them the loans, right, under this arrangement. So the main takeaways or the main key points from the circular number 1 that we were going through is clear to everyone. क्या पूछा जा सकता है एग्जामिनेशन में और आपको क्या पढ़ना है इसमें? Both the current thing, 50%, right, 75% most important, then the basic understanding of CAR, that is only required from this particular capital adequacy norms, nothing else. Next, we will be going on to next. ये हो गया हमारा tick mark. Next, credit risk management amendment directions. ठीक है, credit risk management amendment directions. One more thing is there that I might have missed. I will tell you regarding this also. चलो ये इसके नंबर, ठीक है. The first is completed. The second we will see, which is coming under RBI circular number 173 to 180. We should know the crux of it. सब circular को पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं. Not required to read every circular. ठीक है, that is thing. Now what this says, देखो ये क्या है, एकदम सिंपल कॉन्सेप्ट है इसमें, नथिंग इज देयर. सेकंड नंबर, क्रेडिट रिस्क मैनेजमेंट. रिस्क को यहां भी आप मैनेज कर रहे हो, रिस्क को आपने यहां भी मैनेज किया. हाउ यू मैनेज द रिस्क हियर, टेल मी. यहां रिस्क कैसे मैनेज किया, हाउ यू मैनेज द रिस्क हियर, कैपिटल एडिक्वेशन नॉर्म्स, बाय असाइनिंग द रिस्क वेट्स हु वेर पेइंग रेगुलरली. जो रेगुलर पेमेंट कर रहे थे उनका रिस्क वेट कमा के हम रिस्क मैनेज कर रहे थे. Here also the second circular is talking about the credit risk management. Here also we are managing the risk only. But how we are managing the risk here? Here the circular is talking about क्या होता है कि मान लो a banking entity is there. You take the example of ICICI or the recent HDFC issue, right? If the boss gives loan to its known, say Chanda Kochar is there. Chanda Kochar is giving easy loans to Videocon Limited without terms and conditions, or very easy lenient terms and conditions. So If the video con fails, ultimately the public money, right, that will be at risk in the coming time. So this circular talks about this only. Whenever we have any party which is a key stakeholder in that particular bank, the loan that will be giving, right? The loan that will be giving to that key stakeholder or the strategic partner. Who is a strategic partner? We will see who is called the strategic partner. That it should be followed a high due diligence. We should follow a high due diligence for them. That is proper checking of the documents and the norms. यही है इस सर्कुलर का पूरा सार और the crux. Now, this first thing you have to understand. The other thing you have to understand the concept of materiality threshold. ICICI Bank may be very big bank, right? Yes Bank may be a very smaller bank. So the quantum of loan that you're giving to the strategic holders from your bank, आईसीआईसी बैंक इज अ वेरी बिग बैंक, तो वहां से हो सकता है 50 करोड़ भी दे दो, राइट, टू द स्टेक होल्डर्स, दैट वुड नॉट बी अ डाउटफुल सिचुएशन. बट फॉर यस बैंक, से इट इज अ स्मॉलर बैंक, if you give 50 crore, that will become questionable. So we introduce, or RBI introduce, the concept of materiality threshold. We will see that यही threshold आपको याद रखना है for your examination. Again, I don't think आ सकता है एग्जामिनेशन में, बट कैन बी आस्क्ड, वी विल सी. सी दीज आर द सर्कुलर्स. RBI credit risk arrangement, the circulars 1 number 73 to 180, which is talking about all the banking entities. तो आपको हर एक बैंकिंग एंटिटीज पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं. नो नीड टू गो थ्रू एवरी बैंकिंग एंटिटीज, जस्ट यू नो द क्रक्स what this is talking about that I told you just now. Now see, core objective to eliminate connected lending risk and strengthen credit governance. Key common features. All 8 features apply uniformly across all covered institutions, चाहे वो commercial bank हो, चाहे all India financial institution हो like NABARD, और वो फिर एक NBFC हो. What are the 8 features? Restrictions on related party lending. अंधाधुन, ठीक है, कोई अगर रिलेटिव इज देयर और सम स्ट्रेटेजिक की होल्डर इज देयर, वो हमारे बैंक का, तो उनको लोन दे दे, दिस इज नॉट राइट. पॉइंट नंबर 1. स्टैंडर्डाइज डेफिनेशन ऑफ रिलेटेड पार्टी कंट्रोल एज पर द कंपनीज एक्ट. जो कंपनीज एक्ट में लिखा गया है वही है रिलेटेड पार्टी. ठीक है. अब क्या होता है, 10% का कॉन्सेप्ट है, वी विल सी लेटर ऑन हियर ऑन दी. आर्म्स लेंथ प्रिंसिपल, व्हाट डज इट सेज? दैट नो प्रेफरेंशियल ट्रीटमेंट, सब बराबर है. ठीक है, दैट इज आर्म्स लेंथ प्रिंसिपल. चाहे रिलेटिव हो या नहीं हो, हम सबको एक नजर से देखेंगे. नेक्स्ट, रेसिप्रोकल लेंडिंग प्रोहिबिटेड. यू गिव टू मी, आई विल गिव बैक टू यू. दिस इज रॉन्ग इन बैंक. ठीक है, ऐसे ही करके हम लोन को या पैसे को घुमाते रहे, दिस इज ऑल्सो रॉन्ग. सो यू लेंड टू मी, आई लेंड टू यू कॉन्सेप्ट विल नॉट वर्क हेयर. द मैटरिटी थ्रेशोल्ड इंट्रोड्यूस्ड, दैट वी विल डिस्कस राइट नाउ. Broad level of governance, board level of governance, so that everything is passing from the eye of the board, disclosure norms and the transition rules. These 8 things should be followed for the credit risk management in relation to the strategic key holders or the related persons of the banking institution. Now, why RBI has bought in? Because this was leading to the evergreening of loans. I think everybody knows. Anybody who does not know meaning of evergreening of loans? एक लोन को, राइट, पे करने के लिए दूसरा लोन उठाना, दैट इज ओनली एवरग्रीनिंग ऑफ लोन. समझ लो. ठीक है, टेक वन लोन टू रिपे अनदर लोन. क्रोनी लेंडिंग, एवरीबडी इज अंडरस्टैंडिंग आई थिंक द मीनिंग ऑफ क्रोनी लेंडिंग आल्सो. भाई भतीजावाद. क्रोनी लेंडिंग इज नथिंग बट भाई भतीजावाद. यू आर गिविंग लोन टू योर रिलेटिव्स, फ्रेंड्स, जो भी बैंक के मेंबर्स हैं उनको आप लोन दे रहे हो. ठीक है, इन सब चीजों को टू कंट्रोल दिस थिंग्स ओनली आरबीआई हैज बॉट इन दिस credit risk management. Now, I was telling about the threshold by bank size. If the bank size is more than 10 lakh crore, तो ₹25 crore पर ट्रांजेक्शन के ऊपर जो भी होगा उस पर हम ड्यू डिलीजेंस लगाएंगे. वी विल वेरी केयरफुली पास राइट दैट. 1 से 10 लाख करोड़ का जो भी बैंक होगा, वट एवर द बैंक साइज विल बी ऑफ 1 to 10 लाख करोड़, ₹10 crore per transaction, and less than ₹5 crore per transaction. ये table, is this clear to everyone? Any doubt in that? If the bank size is this or more than this, then the loan passed of the value of this or more than this, we have to be very careful कि कोई norms तो हम, ठीक है, invalidate नहीं कर रहे. We are not invalidating any norms. This table is clear, the 3 points in this. कुछ फंस रहे हो? अगर फंस रहे हो तो इस एग्जांपल को पढ़ो, इसको पढ़ो. Those who are not understanding that table, read this yellow box. Clear? Now very clear to everyone that box? ये येलो बॉक्स पढ़ने के बाद बस बैंक साइज और लोन जो दे रहे हैं उसके हिसाब से हम देखेंगे कि हमें स्पेशल अटेंशन देना है नहीं देना है. दैट ओनली इट इज. नाउ इन सर्टेन केसेस दिस इज प्रोहिबिटेड. In certain cases, this is prohibited. The prohibition on related party lending does not apply when both the following conditions are satisfied. A bank, financial institution, mutual fund for foreign portfolio holds more than 10% in the company. This is purely non-strategic. 10% से ज्यादा होल्डिंग है, बट इवन दो दिस थ्रेश होल्ड इज नॉट अप्लाइड, उनको हम अलाउ करते रहे, ले जाओ तुम ले जाओ लोन. क्यों हम अलाउ कर रहे हैं? बिकॉज दे आर नॉन स्ट्रेटेजिक. They are non-strategic. They are only working for profit generation. In this sense, this will apply where, see, ये पढ़ोगे तो clear होगा. Financial institutions like mutual funds, insurance companies, bank treasury terms often invest in purely for returns, not for ownership or control of the bank. This investment are passive and carry no influence over the management decisions पे कोई इनका इफेक्ट नहीं होगा. इसलिए ये एक एक्सेप्शन है जहां वी आर अलाउइंग कि ओके यू कैन टेक द लोन बिकॉज you will not be interfering with the decisions of the bank or the board in the coming future because you are working for the profit motive of yours. आपका स्ट्रैटेजिक कोई भी इन्फ्लुएंस नहीं है बैंकिंग के ऊपर, तो हम आपको अलाउ करते हैं. यही है ये टेबल. 10% इक्विटी प्लस नो कंट्रोल अलाउड. जहां भी कंट्रोल एग्जिस्ट होगा वी विल नॉट अलाउ यू. ठीक है, विल नॉट अलाउ यू. दिस इज ओनली द एक्सेप्शन टू दिस रूल व्हाट आरबीआई हैज framed. Clear motamoti everything. Only important thing is the 8 things that I have told you. जहाँ भी loss हो रहा, that second thing is materiality threshold. The second circular of RBI. बस इससे ज्यादा कुछ जानना नहीं है. अब आप क्यों पूरा पीडीएफ निकालोगे और एक एक चीज को अंडरलाइन करके पढ़ोगे? नॉट रिक्वायर्ड, जरूरत ही नहीं है. यही 2 पॉइंट आपको जानना है इस पूरे सर्कुलर से जो कि न्यूज़पेपर में आया हुआ है बस. ठीक है, चलो. क्लियर? तो थर्ड पॉइंट पे बढ़ूं मैं. इफ एवरीबॉडी सेज यस, द थर्ड सर्कुलर. Three. Done? Done. This one we will see. Supervisory Data Quality Control Index. That we call it SDQI in short. ये भी बहुत ही छोटा सा कॉन्सेप्ट है, कुछ इसमें जानने का जरूरत नहीं है ज़्यादा. नथिंग टू नो मोर इन दिस, वेरी स्मॉल कॉन्सेप्ट. इट इज अ इंटरनल फ्रेमवर्क, ऐसा सोच लो. See, whatever the documents, right, you are giving, say you are going to join the RBI, right? And you provide certain documents to the RBI. So in what time you provide it? What are the number of documents is provided? RBI is looking after that. Your DV, that is document verification, is going on. That is only SDQI. Means all the banks in what time, right? With what punctuality they are providing all the data to the RBI. That is only supervisory data quality index. बस यही है internal control, not more than this. और इसमें से आपको what you should know, I will tell you. Questions are there, you can practice, right? You can practice. Yeah, see, this was in the news. This was in the news in January 6. ठीक है, January 6, 2026. Hyperlink is also given from our DCA. Is a strategic tool used by RBI to evaluate the integrity of the data reported by the banks. बस इसी पे खत्म है. Everything gets closed here. बस इतना ही इसका meaning है, nothing more than this. Integrity of the data reported by banks, which will be overseen by RBI. Baat khatam. This is only SDQI. Now to see this, four pillars are used: completeness, timeliness, accuracy and consistency. ये figures कभी पूछने वाले नहीं है. Completeness कब कहते हैं? If the score is 96.1. Timeliness कब कहते हैं? If the score is 93.5. Accuracy 86.8. Consistency 86.4. I do not want that you should remember these values. I only want that you should know these terms: completeness, timeliness, accuracy, consistency. CATC, CAT or C square 80, like that you can remember. ठीक है? Sub range 80 to 90 है, right? So if we see the latest report of RBI that was released last year, September 2025, so everything is crossing the 90 limit. So what the overall view is, that only you should know, जिसको मैंने color कर दिया यहाँ पे. Shift to good. The industry average has successfully migrated from acceptable, जो कि था 89.9 in the previous one, to 89.9, that is to good category in just 1 quarter. That you should know. Overall improvement in every sector for every bank. The public sector हो, private sector हो, foreign हो, सब में improvement you will see. 90, 91, 90, 91, 90, 90, 89, 90, 89, 90.7. So overall there is an improvement. This is only the thing you should know. Clear everyone? Circular number 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Third is clear. क्या जानना था हमें? Not more than this. इससे ज्यादा कुछ नहीं जानना. टाइम वेस्ट अगर इससे ज्यादा डिटेल में आप पढ़ोगे तो. फोर्थ देखते हैं. RBI CLR Amendment Direction 2026. दिस इज अगेन अ वेरी इजी सर्कुलर. अगेन अ वेरी इजी सर्कुलर. कुछ भी नहीं बताया इसमें, बस इसमें इतना ही बताया आरबीआई ने. इंटरनल प्रोसीजर्स के बारे में बताया कि क्या हम इंटरनल प्रोसीजर बैंक को फॉलो करना चाहिए, कैसे मेंटेन करना चाहिए, जो कि फॉर एनी कैंडिडेट इट इज यूजलेस टू स्टडी इन डिटेल इफ यू वांट. आई टोल्ड यू द एग्जाम इज फॉर future officers, not the present officers. So inside what they have recommended, that will not see. We will only know the back linkages of it. Back linkage क्या है? The concept of CRR and SLR. The concept of CRR and SLR. What is CRR percentage, my dear friends? And what is SLR percentage presently? CRR कितना है अभी? First tell me CRR. 3%. Very good. What is SLR? 18%. Very good. Very good. CRR जो रहते हैं, it is kept with RBI in form of what? Gold, cash or all combination of all. नाम ही है कैश तो कैश होगा. SLR is kept in the form of cash, gold or securities. Statutory liquidity ratio, yes, very good. It is in the form of cash also. It is in the form of gold also. It is in the form of securities also. ठीक है. So 18% here. It is 18% of what? Another thing, base क्या है? NDTL, net demand and time liabilities. ठीक है. It is net demand and time liabilities. That you should remember. This is there. This is also clear. In ये चारों clear होता है हमारे लिए. Just fastly in your mind, just closing your eyes for 2 minutes. ये चारों points को याद करो. चारों में याद करो what you have to remember for the examination. Fastly within 2 minutes. Chalo, done. We will move on to the next block, the governance and the consumer protection. Consumer को protect करने का सबसे easy, it is the most easy one is Internal Ombudsman Direction 2026, IO. ठीक है? Internal Ombudsman. Now, to understand this internal ombudsman, right? First point, 50% when the party makes the loan repayment, 2% of the debt is repaid रिस्क वेट इज 75%, 5% कर दिया तो रिस्क वेट इज reduced to 50%, so that risk becomes less and less because you are making more and more payment. Simple concept. Now see this one. Yeah, these are the circulars related to your internal ombudsman. ठीक है, from the RBI 2026 with in relation to NBFC, payment bank, small finance bank, commercial bank, credit information companies. Now IO is of two type. IO जब भी हम word use करते हैं, we will be using for internal ombudsman or internal ombudsperson. So IO are of two type, the internal and the external. ठीक है, एकदम clear रखो दिमाग में, internal and external. Internal is within the bank. External sits outside the bank at RBI. One another important point from objective point of view, जो internal ombudsman होता है, he is appointed as per Banking Regulation Act of 1949 under section 35A. But RBI external that sits in the RBI is appointed as per RBI Integrated Ombudsman Scheme of 21, which has been replaced recently by this one 2026 में काफी changes लाए. This is important for your examination. The changes in RBI OS 2026 जो कि जुलाई 1 से लागू होगा. These two concepts you have to remember. The third is that any outlet, ठीक है, banks having commercial outlet 10 plus more, चाहे NBFC हो चाहे banking हो, they have to have this internal ombudsman over there. कम वाले के पास नहीं है चलेगा, बट 10 से ज्यादा आपके पास ब्रांचेस हो गए, बैंक्स हो गए, तो दैट देन यू हैव टू फॉलो दिस आईओ रूल. नाउ इसमें से व्हाट यू हैव टू रिमेंबर, द फर्स्ट पॉइंट मैंने आपको बता दिया कि आईओ इज अपॉइंटेड थ्रू बीआर एक्ट. RBI OS is appointed through this RBI OS integrated scheme of 2021, which is now being replaced with 2026 with the philosophy one nation one ombudsman philosophy. This is one thing. Now who can be appointed as internal ombudsperson? इसके qualification को याद रखो. Can be asked in UPSC also. They can ask this question in prelims. The first is 7-year experience in banking regulation. ठीक है, 7 बस याद रखो, 7 year of experience. Then you must remember that they have 3 to 5 years. Minimum 3 and maximum 5 years they can have this. Minimum tenure of 3 years. ऐसा नहीं कि आज लिया उसे कल निकाल दिया. Minimum 3 years, maximum 5 years. And age limit of 70 years. ये मत याद रखो तो चलेगा. If you don't remember this, it works okay. But if you remember this, it is okay for you. 7 years, 70 years, 3 years, 5 years. ये 4 values it should be there in your mind. The qualification for internal ombudsperson or man. ठीक है. Another thing what I was telling you, other things are minor that नहीं भी याद रखो तो चलेगा. That is important. I will tell you what you have to remember. Yeah, this one I will tell you. Yeah, see this one. This flowchart is very important for your examination. Customer faces issue with the bank or NBFC, ठीक है. File written complaint to the regulated entity. Wait for 30 days. आपने फाइल कर दिया, then you have to wait for 30 days. कि what reply does bank gives. अब कुछ तो टाइम दोगे उन्हें. पहले ही तो आरबीआई के पास नहीं चले जाओगे आप. उनके इंटरनल आईओ को भी वर्क करने का टाइम दोगे. इफ आईओ इंटरनल आईओ डज नॉट वर्क, then you will go to the external IO, that is with RBI. ठीक है, no reply, complaint rejected, unsatisfactory reply. ठीक है, this is there. So you have 30 days you have to wait for this. And if you feel like they are not giving the reply or complaint is being rejected or they are not giving reply in the right manner, then you can approach to the ombudsman. Then you can approach to the ombudsman and file a complaint to the RBI within 90 days from RE response or 30-day expiry. इन 30 दिनों के बाद या फिर इनके रिप्लाई आने के 90 दिनों के बाद you can go for this. Clear this timeline? 90 दिन and 30 days is clear everyone? When is 90 days applied and when is 30 days applied? दे विल नॉट गिव एनीथिंग, 30 दिनों के बाद कर सकते हो। उनके जवाब देने के बाद आपको पढ़ा, आपने लिखा, आपने समझा, उसके 90 दिन तक आप टाइम ले सकते हो पढ़ने समझने में, फिर आप उन पे जा सकते हो एक्सटर्नल के पास। ठीक है, विद इन 90 days फ्रॉम द regulated entities response. So this is important. This 90 days and this 30 days is important. 30 days पढ़ो ना, पढ़ोगे तो खुद ही क्लियर होगा, कुछ भी नहीं है। मान लो उन्होंने कुछ भी आपको रिस्पॉन्स नहीं दिया, तो 31st डे तक आपके पास हो गया, कोई रिस्पॉन्स नहीं आया तो यू विल गो, सिंपल चीज है। एंड इफ दे हैव गिवन वन रिस्पॉन्स, एक लंबा चौड़ा आपको चिट्ठी समा दिया, राइट, दे हैव गिवन वन वेरी लेंदी लेटर, उस लेटर को पढ़ने लिखने समझने में आपको टाइम तो लगेगा, तभी तो आप आगे बढ़ोगे। देन यू रिक्वायर अराउंड 90 days, आप 90 दिन तक आपके पास टाइम है। Earlier this was 1 year, but now they have reduced it to 90 days, so this is a change. So that's why you have to remember the concept of this 90 days, very important for your examination. ठीक है, ये आपको याद रखना, बाकी चार्ट you can see, not that important, but this 90 days concept, they have changed it recently in this circular. So this is very important that you have to remember. So I have given key points here. You can remember all this. The third point I was telling you, this one, this is very important. They have changed this concept recently. The maximum fine they have made it 30 lakh and 3 lakh. If there is some financial loss, the maximum compensation that go to 30 lakh here. ठीक है, cap नहीं है, sorry. It for financial loss they have written the word 30 lakhs का compensation you can give. They have removed the limit for the upper cap, so there is no upper cap, but the compensation can goes to 30 lakh and it can move beyond also. And if they have done certain mental harassment to you, right, you think that you have gone so much mental pain and agony, then they will award you 3 lakh of rupees as per the recent 2026 changes they have made in this. यही 3-4 points you have to remember from this internal ombudsman wala thing. See here. Earlier it was 20 lakh, changed to 30 lakh. Earlier it was 1 lakh, changed to 3 lakh. Upper limit on complaint value capped. अभी कोई भी capping नहीं है, right? Then institutional changes, banks, NBFC, now everything is included, right? Bank, NBFC, small finance bank वगैरह पहले नहीं आया करते थे, अब सब कुछ included है, internal, external दोनों में. Earlier you will find that small finance banks are not included, but now they are also included under both internal, external, they are included, both are included. So this table is very important. This green box is very important for your examination. They will ask you, July 26, it will become applicable. Yes, if 10 plus branches वाला concept तो रहेगा ही, that we have gone through. All the key points, one chart is given, all the key points after reading or going through it, you will find all the key points has been mentioned over there. जो भी मैंने आपको numbers, values बताएं, you will be able to remember through this chart. Next norms is related to priority sector lending norms. ठीक है, RBI circular number this dated 19 January 2026. Yes, no. Payment banks also has been included under internal IO. पहले था, अब इनको भी इंक्लूड कर लिया गया है। ठीक है, now priority sector lending norms, certain norms will try to understand. So this is old, मैंने मेंशन कर दिया कि PSL for the small finance bank is 60%, ठीक है, of the ANBC adjusted net bank credit 60%. पहले it was 75%. This is very important. 60% you should know. Now most important of this norm is table. I will show you. This table is very important. Question will come from this table only. Total priority sector lending 40% for domestic bank and foreign banks having less than 20 branches. If the branches are more than 20, it is 40%, but there is some bifurcation up to 32% for the export and minimum 8% in the other areas. ठीक है, total priority sector, we are going through total priority sector lendings. 40%, here also 40%, by bifurcation 32 and 8. This is very important, those who are preparing for NABARD also, regional rural banks, 75%. Total priority, this is highest among the banking sector. RRBs को 75% करना, this is highest. इसको याद रखोगे आप. इसमें और एक बड़ा catch क्या? What is one more catch in this 75% is that, try to remember. See, it says very clearly that out of this 75% मीडियम एंटरप्राइज सोशल रिन्यूएबल को आप सिर्फ 15% ही दे सकते हो क्योंकि आप रूरल बैंक हो. सो यू विल बी गिविंग ओनली 15% टू सोशल रिन्यूएबल energy and sectors. Rest of the thing you have to go for agriculture and rural development only. This 75 and 15% clause is very important, can be asked in different ways in the examination. Total 75% flat yaad rakho. Out of this 75%, 15% will only go to social, medium and renewable. Baki you have to go to agriculture and rural development only. Clear everyone? What is 75%? What is 15% in priority sector lendings for the RRBs? Very important for people preparing for NABARD. Clear everyone? क्लियर है सबको? बोल रहे कि 75% में आप जो है ये नहीं बोलो कि मैंने रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी को दे दिया सारा, मेरा काम खत्म हो गया. नो, इट इज सेइंग क्लियरली अब 75-15 सिर्फ रिन्यूएबल, सोशल एंड मीडियम को दे सकते हो, बाकी आपको एग्री एंड रूरल डेवलपमेंट में ही यू हैव टू इन्वेस्ट. एंड स्मॉल फाइनेंस बैंक आई टोल्ड यू इट 60%. अगेन एग्रीकल्चर 18%. फॉर दिस इट इज नॉट एप्लीकेबल. 18%, 18% मोस्टली. Now there are certain norms that you go through the percentages. आप खुद जाके एक बार याद कर लेना. Urban cooperative banks, the total priority sector lending is 60%, similar to the SFBs. Similar to the SFBs. One more thing, this is see, as per banking. ये जो limits है, these limits are as per banks. The limits as per individual is also there in the priority sector that you have to remember. कि एक फार्मर को कितना मिलना चाहिए, एक एफपीओ को कितना मिलना चाहिए लोन, दैट इज ऑल्सो देयर. सो दिस फिगर्स यू हैव टू रिमेंबर दोज हु आर स्पेसिफिकली प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर NABARD. So individual farmers limits are against the negotiable warehouse receipts. Maximum is 90 lakh. Against the non-negotiable warehouse receipts, अभी मैंने पीआईबी साधना में ये कंप्लीट करवाया आप लोगों को. What is I think 8th or 9th of March I have taken this class on what are NWRs and what are non-NWRs. Those who have gone through it, they know it. Those who haven't gone through the PIV साधना classes, please go through it. 8 या 9 मार्च को ही मैंने ये कॉन्सेप्ट पूरा समझाया होता क्या है. Then see, FPOs again very important for NABARD. So general agriculture and allied maximum you can give 4 crores. ठीक है. So in this way you can remember this individual limits also for the examination. Next we will come into, apart from these figures, small figures. Yes, it can be taken for loan instruments also. See, one more concept I think most of you might be knowing, RIDF concept. Rural Infrastructure Development Form. If there is priority sector like lendings, your bank does not give, right? The shortfall of this 40% what you have will go to the Rural Infrastructure Development Fund. Yes, this is a simple concept. NABARD interview they ask many times, but आपके ध्यान में ये होना चाहिए कि if you do not, if any bank does not fulfill this criteria of priority sector lendings, the shortfall will go to RIDF. Be very clear with that. Be very clear with that. Okay, so a simple question can also be asked in the objective format itself. That bank falling shorts in the PSL, the amount can go to RIDF, it can go to NHB, it can go to SIDB, it can go to Mudra. इसीलिए मैंने बताया कि you will jump onto the option कि okay, PSL shortfall, it will be on the RIDF. But no, my dear friends, this can go to other eligible funds also, that National Housing Banking, SIDB, Mudra, यहाँ भी जा सकता है. ये catch हो सकता है in objective. Remember this. And if there is shortfall in the overall PSL targets, ठीक है, the deposits that you will do, right? मान लो कि आप कहीं deposit करते हो, bank deposits that money to somewhere, then they will not be getting that much amount of interest on that money. It will be always less than the bank rate, whatever is applicable that time. One more thing that can be asked in objective is this one: monitoring of PSL targets is done quarterly, right? In case of RRB, NABARD will look. In case of other banks, RBI will look into this कि आप follow कर रहे हो norms या नहीं on every quarter basis. Modified KYC norms. See, this norms is not that important because after January only, Nirmala Sitharaman came with new budget and वहाँ पे बहुत सारा कुछ change हुआ related to KCC where the limit become 5%, right? 5 lakhs, sorry. So this norm, this circular is not that much important for your examination. Only remember the prompt repayment for any farmer who does a prompt repayment, the applicable rate of interest is just 4%, not the 7%. ये याद रखना. एक्सटर्नल सेक्टर लेंडिंग. अब हमारा इंटरनल सारा कुछ खत्म हो गया. अब हम आते हैं पॉइंट नंबर 2 पे. जस्ट इट विल टेक अनदर 15 मिनट्स. हैव द पेशेंस, विल कंप्लीट इट. ठीक है. फॉरेन एक्सचेंज मैनेजमेंट रेगुलेशन 2026. इसमें भी ज्यादा कुछ नहीं बताया गया. ओनली टू थिंग्स यू हैव टू रिमेंबर. Those entities which are exporting and taking loan for the export, you have 15 months for that. Earlier 9 या 12 महीने होते थे. To realize and repatriate. Anybody can explain the difference between realize and repatriate? Realize means when you take the loan. ठीक है. Repatriate means when that loan is coming back to the government's account. ठीक है. That you can remember. That exporters have 15 months to realize and repatriate export proceeds, offering improved cash flow flexibility. जब तक मान लो आपने सेल कर दिया तो उसको हम बोलेंगे रियलाइजेशन. व्हेन द सेल के बाद व्हेन द अकाउंट ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर पर्सन इज गेटिंग क्रेडिटेड, देन वी कॉल इट रिपैट्रिएशन, कि एक्चुअल पैसा आ गया. दैट इज ओनली रिपैट्रिएशन. फॉर दिस द गवर्नमेंट हैज इंक्रीज द टाइम from 9 and 12 months to 15 months. This first point you have to remember. And simple compliances for the invoices values whose value is up to 10 lakh. Smaller value transaction. This is point number 2 you have to remember from this circular. Not more than this. The third thing when we talk about the external and the FEMA, one more thing, there is no circular, just this is a news that India's international investment position, IIP, index of industrial production नहीं है. This is India's international investment position, कि हमने लोन कितना दिया और हमारे पास है कितना. That is what is our assets and what is our liabilities. So if we compare the RBI values, right, the net position is minus 258. मतलब इतना का liability है हमारे ऊपर. So what are our assets? Our assets are फॉरेन एक्सचेंज विद द आरबीआई, इंडियन इन्वेस्टमेंट अब्रॉड जो हमने बाहर अब्रॉड एफडीआई किया है, लोन दिया, एंड वट एवर द एफडीआई इज कमिंग इन आवर कंट्री, राइट. एफपीआई, एक्सटर्नल कमर्शियल बोरोइंग, एनआरआई डिपॉजिट्स, ये सब लाइबिलिटीज है. वी हैव टू रिटर्न दिस. एफडीआई इन इंडिया इज ऑल्सो a liability, right? We have to return this. So net of this is minus 258 billion US dollars. That you can remember. So out of this negative, only negative value minus 258 or 275 according to some reports, what do you see positive in this? The positive is that the maximum liability we have is due to FDI, which is very stable. So this is a positive thing they can ask you. Even though we have a liability, but what is positive in this liability is that it is due to FDI, which is very stable. याद रखना इस point को. India is a net debtor country, but even though it is a debtor, our debt is mostly due to FDI in India, as per this RBI's report. Next, निर्यात प्रोत्साहन. I was taking the last class, no, about the EPM scheme. दो चीज मैंने बताया था, I think. Or I think the PIB sadhana only last class I have taken. What are the two enablers to promote the MSMEs, the financial and the non-financial? Very good. Niryat Protsahan and Niryat Disa. मैंने just, I think last PIB sadhana I told you Sagar and Swati about this. Yes. तो साधना को follow करो, right? Those who are not following, please follow it. इसमें you have to remember that government is giving a interest subvention of 2.75% with a capping of 50 lakh per exporter. आप जो लोन लेते हो ना एक्सपोर्ट करने के लिए, उसमें इंटरेस्ट सबवेंशन आपके लिए अवेलेबल है 2 जैसे एमआईएस स्कीम में फार्मर्स के लिए कितना 4% था, उसी तरह से देयर इज सम इंटरेस्ट सबवेंशन 2.75% फिगर इज ऑन द ओनली थिंग यू हैव टू रिमेंबर फॉर दिस स्कीम निर्यात प्रोत्साहन, इन कैपिंग इज 50 lakh. Now last thing we'll be dealing one liners, banking approvals. Bank of Baroda has been given a stand-alone primary dealer subsidiary. ठीक है. RBI approval has been given as a stand-alone primary dealer subsidiary. क्या होता है primary Standalone primary dealer, those who sells the government security. Government security के खरीद and बिक्री, right? Selling and purchasing of those are only primary dealers. बस इतना याद रखो. Who has been given approval as a primary dealer standalone? Bank of Baroda. News number one. News number two, SMBC, Suimoto, ठीक है, Japanese bank, जिसका सिर्फ एक ब्रांच था, right? That has been given the status of wholly owned subsidiary in India. This is point number two. One liner you have to remember. The third is cross-border authorization, Skydo. Skydo is a Bangalore-based fintech which has been given the right now payment aggregator, right, cross-border payment aggregator status recently by the RBI. What was the first such authorization was given to cash-free payments in 2024. Next, one liner, Government of Delhi has signed agreement for GNCT agreement with the Government of Delhi, RBI side. That means RBI is the banker of the Government of Delhi. And under this, ways and means advances, that is short-term allowances, which the RBI gives to the state government, is ways and means advances that can be done, right? Because RBI is acting as a banker to the Government of Delhi. Last but not least, the second last thing, the payment regulatory board has been formed. It is a statutory body. It has replaced the board of regulation and supervision for payment and settlement, right? जो कि ये था पहले, इसको रिप्लेस करके ये बना है, which is a statutory body and it is being chaired by RBI Governor Sanjay Malhotra. They will ask a simple question: who is the chairman of Payment Regulatory Board? So, Governor of Payment Regulatory Board is RBI Governor, which is formed after replacing this board and which is a statutory body. Last, public engagement, RBI talks PASA 2 policy, right? This is a talk with the eminent persons to crack the jargon words related to the finance as well, so that the persons can, citizens of the country can understand it. This is a podcast sort of thing by RBI. तो ये सारे न्यूज़ है. मैं फास्टली जाऊंगा इंडेक्स पे. फिर इंडेक्स पे जाने के बाद ट्राई टू सी, या दिस इज द इंडेक्स. ये हमने रिपीट कर लिया था, दैट व्हाट टू स्टडी फ्रॉम दिस. ए, B, internal ombuds direction. I told you about internal and external. External में some changes I told you about the fine penalty that you have to remember. Internal I told you about the qualification that you have to remember. Priority sector lending norms, individual wise limits I told you to remember after the class. And the another thing, the criteria, the 75%, 60%, 18%, 15%, all this criteria we have seen just now in the PSL. वो chart जो मैंने आपको दिखाया था, that you have to keep in your mind every time. External में मैंने आपको बताया foreign exchange management regulations. इसके बारे में two things I told you. The 15-month, the invoice value 10 lakh I think it was, ठीक है, that you have to remember. And I told you about the India's international investment position. India's international investment position, I told you about that. And also I told you about the Niryat Protsahan of interest subvention of 2.75%. Okay. Then last approvals we have seen, Bank of Baroda ko mila approval. Then SMBC as a whole subsidiary, right? It has got approval as primarily standalone primary dealer. Cross-border authorization for Skydo. The first is cash-free. Then we have seen Delhi, Government of Delhi, Bank of RBI is working as a banker to Government of Delhi. Ways and means advances are the short-term advances. 90 days के around होता है ये, or 90 days advances. Then Payment Regulatory Board, statutory body, chairperson is your what? RBI Governor, and public engagement के लिए RBI has started RBI podcast series. So these are all the things in the news. I don't think कि more than this is required. अगर आप एक घंटा बैठ के किसी और भी दिन रिवाइज करोगे, everything is done for the month of January. So clear? How was the class? And I wanted that image should be there कि जनवरी जैसे आपके दिमाग में आता है कि RBI circular from the month of January, so what you have to study and what extent you have to study, is this clear or not to everyone? थ्रेशोल्ड नहीं, दैट परसेंटेजेस यू हैव टू रिमेंबर, दैट परसेंटेजेस यू हैव टू रिमेंबर कि किस बैंक का कितना, किसका 40 है, किसका 75 है, किसका 60 है, दैट यू हैव टू रिमेंबर. So I'm not getting the responses till now. Is the things clear when we say or when I say or when you say कि मुझे complete करना है जनवरी के circulars of RBI? What thing should be there in your mind? क्या आपको पढ़ना है, कहाँ से पढ़ना है, कितना पढ़ना है? Is it clear? Never ever they will ask this circulars in descriptive. ठीक है? Never ever they will ask. What Janvi, in case of CRM means what are you trying to ask? हाँ सेम यू हैव टू रिमेंबर दैट द डेटा गिवन वही आपको इतना ही याद रखना है 75% दैट वाज टेलिंग इतना ही हैव टू रिमेंबर. चलो with this I will end the class. I think you have another class after this also. I think Yash will be taking that. चलो bye bye, good night, take care. We'll come again with the web.